watching yourself again? Look, you need to stop doing this. You're going to make things worse.
Last Wednesday, one of the UK's most talented and popular actors' careers came to a terrifying halt in what Sir Ian McKellen has called the darkest day in UK theatre history. Today, star of stage and screen Mike Orwell and his partner Amy Wilms have allowed cameras into their Kent home to tell the full story behind Mike's bizarre situation.
I think this is a warning to all actors out there. Mike was a normal guy before this happened. He loved his broccoli, peas, carrots and cocaine. I don't think Mike was ever warned about the dangers of method acting, no.
I warned Mike all along, but it was just too deep. He wanted to be the character. For Mike it was method, method, method. But would he listen?
I'm sorry, you asking me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I forgot.
He never knew when to stop. That was his problem. I remember working with him at the National Theatre on Devils of the Wayward. Mike was playing Satan and I was playing Constable Furburger. I came into rehearsals one morning and he had dug a 6-foot hole in the studio floor. Said he was hoping to get to hell.
It was this commitment to his craft that won Mike his first Golden Globe Award in 2001 for his role of a mentally abused husband in the gritty TV drama Bitch Slapped. It was during filming that Mike became interested in the technique of method acting.
I want to be beautiful again.
You are beautiful.
No, I'm not.
I felt that to be believable. As an abused husband, I should actually be abused. I lived with a group of crack whores for a month and let them take their frustrations out on me. They burned my scrotum with cigarette butts, stuck needles in my gums, and used my nasal passages as crack pipes. Unfortunately, this didn't help my acting at all. It just really hurt.
Mike Orwell became a worldwide success and well respected amongst his fellow actors. It was as his career took him to the well-trod boards of the West End that Mike began to fully submerge himself in role, and the lines between character and actor began to obscure, causing concern to those closest to him.
Of course I was worried about Mike. He just landed the lead in Fruit Salad the Musical, Tale of a Tangerine, but he'd started taking things a bit too far. One morning I found him asleep in a grow bag covered in green flies. Will you just f*** off? Sorry. What was I saying?
Look, I saw the signs years ago. He'd always had the ability to transform himself beyond recognition. Once, at drama school, he literally morphed into an orange during a rehearsal of A Clockwork Orange. It was very, very impressive. And very, very juicy.
So could it have been Mike's drama school training at the Puss Puss Academy of Dramatic Arts that was to blame for his eventual ruin? And should such a dangerous actor have been allowed to practice these dark theatrical techniques unsupervised in the first place? Mike's acting tutor, Tar Banfields, has her own views on the matter.
Mike's talent was so rare, we tried to avoid stifling his gifts by monitoring or restricting any aspect of his technique. For a time, we had him wear a dog's leash around his neck in the hope that might pacify his virtuosity. However, he began peeing up lampposts and humping other students' thigh bones. He also developed the wet nose. Do I feel any sense of responsibility in any of this? None at all.
As Mike's career continued to gain momentum, he eventually landed the role he felt he was born to play. That of the famous motor neurone disease suffering war journalist, Tom Hatton. It was during his preparation for the role that Mike began to slip deeper and deeper into character.
I worked on the physical aspect of Tom first. I studied photographs and video footage and began to mimic his movements. I really felt the work was progressing well.
Well, I just thought he'd snap back out of character like he always did. Come home after the shoot drunk, slap me about, sex, sleep, and everything would be as it always was. Horrible. But he seemed different now.
One morning, Amy rang me and told me she feared for Mike's safety. She was in a hell of a state, crying her eyes out, worried that he hadn't slapped her around in weeks. That's when I realised something was very, very wrong.
The division between actor and character began to dissolve, leaving what Mike often referred to as pure entity, an actorless being. It was only as Mike tried to shake off his character that the true horror of the situation began to sink in.
I felt trapped, my limbs had seized up, and I was rendered speechless. Something had gone wrong. I was trapped in the body of Tom Hat, and I started to brick it. Fucking big time.
For a split second, I was jealous, yeah, when I found out he'd actually become the character of Tom Hatton. I mean, what actor wouldn't be? Then I saw him, all spastic and twisted in that stupid chair, and I felt sick. He'd soiled himself again. I think the world does need to know the truth about the method, yeah.
I miss the old abusive Mike, I really do. The stench of beer, the ego, the black eyes. It's like living with a thick Stephen Hawking.
Regardless of whether Mike and Amy come to terms with their predicament, there are serious concerns regarding the discipline of method acting. We spoke to world-famous acting practitioner Herb Griffith and asked if he'd ever encountered this depth of character before.
Oh, absolutely. It's very common for the method actor to completely transform beyond recognition whilst creating a character. Whilst in rehearsals for Hamlet, Laurence Olivier literally transformed into a cigar. And I should know, I was there. I once worked with a very intense young method actor, Peter Sutcliffe, whilst he was developing the role of Jack the Ripper. I warned him he'd taken the work too far. And we all know what happened to him.
So, while the world mourns the loss of one of its most outstanding talents, Mike Orwell and Amy Wilms continually strive to bring Mike back to the person he once was before his terrible affliction took hold. And, hopefully, together through patience, determination and love, help recover the career that brought so many people excitement, happiness and joy.
I'm hoping to get well again so I can get back on stage. But mainly to give Amy the beating she deserves. Har. 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 Please help me, Amy is trying to kill me. I'm really scared. Dear God, I'm so frightened. Weeping. Weeping. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Still weeping.